Hi everyone, welcome. It's me again, Dawn, and for today's video, guys, is we will be talking about the things that you should know before you become an OFW. So if you want to know them, please keep on watching. For today's vlog is just a chill vlog kasi parang nagpo-podcast lang tayo. Parang nag-uusap lang tayo. A lot of you have been asking me about becoming an OFW. So there are some of my friends who are messaging me, paano mo prinoses yung sarili mo before you decided to become an OFW? We will talk about the things that you should know first in order for you to help yourself process if you really want to become an OFW. Sorry kung medyo namamalat yung boses ko. I really don't know. Parang hindi pa ata to nakaget over sa retreat namin last week. But anyways, I'm just holding my mic kasi wala lang. Feel ko talaga parang podcast. So grab your snack, grab your drinks while listening to this video. I hope and I pray that you will learn something from this and this will be helpful. The things that I'm going to be sharing with you guys are all based on my experience and observations. Just to give you some idea about what I experienced as an OFW, a glimpse of my life, a glimpse of my experiences, for you to also prepare yourself to what's about to come. And kung anong nangyari sa akin, that doesn't mean na ganun din yung mangyayari sa'yo. We all have our own different stories. We all have our own different journeys in life. So, yeah, I'm speaking in behalf of my experience. So first, the things that you should know before you decided to be an OFW of a certain country, you need to research first about the country. That is actually something that I really did not do at all. Parang hindi talaga ako nag-research about going to Doha, anong food sa Doha, anong culture, anong mga type of people yung mga kasama ko. As in, I really don't have any idea. And parang medyo may pagka-racist. Honestly speaking, may pagka-racist ako noon. On yun ha, when I still don't have any idea. And ayoko yung pagkain nila, yung amoy, as in ayoko. Tapos nung few days before my flight, dinala ako ni Ate Klang, a close friend, a very dear friend of mine, sa isang restaurant. It's a Mediterranean restaurant sa Davao. Sabi niya, ito yung mga pagkain na makakain mo doon. And I was like, oh my gosh. Hindi na makakapag-back out nito kasi may ticket na ako, as in settled na lahat. Nung nag-arrive ako dito sa Qatar, pagtingin ko sa mga tao, shucks, may mga balbas. I racist talaga ako noon. Sorry for that. I was like that before. Was na. Noon, hindi na ngayon. Oh, shucks, Lord. This is it. Tapos paglabas ko, pag-travel namin from airport to my accommodation, ang lungkot ng place. Yung parang, hala, desierto literal. Sabi ko, God. Sabi ko, hindi ko in-expect na ganito. Kasi yung place na tinirahan namin at first, accommodation, literal talaga na desierto. So, parang, ang lungkot ko. So, hindi pa nakagala nun sa city talaga mismo. Sobrang ganda ng city ng Qatar. Ang parks nila, mga destinations, sobrang ganda. Pero na timing lang talaga ako noon na nalagay ako sa isang accommodation na wag na namin ng zombie land. Kasi desierto talaga. Kaya after 3 months, I guess, nagpalipat ako sa city mismo kasi hindi ko kaya. Hindi ko kaya yung ganong ambience kasi mas lalo ako malulungkot. And ang sobrang layo pa sa mall, sa mga parks. Ako pa naman yung type of person na pag gusto ko na mag-relax, pumupunta ako sa park, pumupunta ako sa mall, nag-window shopping ako, doon wala. Tapos ang mahal pa ng pamasahe, kaya sabi ko, okay, magpapalipat ako ng accommodation. Sabi ko, diba, ayoko sa gano'n na mga lahi. But when I tried to work with them, they're so nice. I'm used to working with them already. Of course, nakapag-adjust na ako. Parang na-embrace ko na, accept ko na yung culture nila, kung sino talaga sila. Akala mo, mapuputi yung mga kasama. Hindi. It was something that I did not expect kasi nga hindi ako nag-research sa country. Basta sa akin ay trabaho lang. And yung company, dream company ko din talaga to. The second is you need to think and discover why you really want to become an OFW. Bakit ba? Ano bang rason? And please set aside money. Kasi For me, money is not enough for you to be sustained sa ganito kahirap na life ng pagiging OFW na malalayo ka sa family mo, sa mga taong mahal mo sa buhay, yung life mo noon, iiwan mo yon. Para din sa akin, kulang pa yung rason, pupunta ka dyan para sa pera. Sa akin naman, sinet aside ko talaga yung money. Because growing up, I did not really experience living alone. As in, hindi ko alam and natatakot ako. Kaya sabi ko, and naglulong na talaga ako yung parang gusto kong makilala yung sarili ko, gusto kong malaman anong feeling pag mag-isa. Tapos sabi ko, God, I really want to experience you alone. Yung tayong dalawa lang. And nangyari nga talaga, literal na kami lang dalawa. May mga taong tinanggal sa buhay ko. Mafe-feel kong, shocks, this is it. This is an answered prayer for me na mag-isa na lang ako. At first, it was not easy, guys. Hindi madali. Pero dito ko sa abroad kasi kung nasa Pinas ako tapos living alone, hindi ako magiging ganito. Hindi ko ma-learn yung mga kailangan kong matutunan. Hindi ako ganito katapang kung hindi ako nag-abroad. Kasi comfort zone ko talaga ang Pinas. So, nang nandito na ako sa Qatar, di bang prayer ko ay gusto kong ma-experience si God in a personal and deeper way na kaming dalawa lang. And nangyari nga siya, and thank and praise God kasi mas nakilala ko yung sarili ko, yung kakayanan ko, yung mga ayaw ko, yung mga gusto ko, ano bang type of person na gusto ko maging in the future, anong klaseng buhay ba yung gusto ko. Gusto ko ba talagang magstay abroad? Gusto ko ba talagang magsettle sa ibang bansa? Gusto ko ba ng AFAM? Gusto ko ba ng Pinoy? Parang ganon. So yeah, ang dami kong na-discover nung nag-abroad ako. Yeah, dun palang panalo na ako. I set aside about money na kahit gaano man ka hirap yung naranasan ko dito sa abroad. Hindi ako kumalas, hindi ako sumuko agad kasi alam ko yung rason ko kung ba't nandito ako, and that is for my personal growth. Gusto ko talaga maging better as a woman, every aspect of me as a person. Mag-isip kayo ng rason bakit gusto nyo mag-abroad. Money is not enough for you to sustain here kasi hindi madaling mag-abroad, guys. And to tell you honestly, ang daming sumusuko. Ang daming nag-resign kaagad. Being an OFW is not for everyone. Hindi siya para sa lahat kasi kailangan talaga na malakas yung loob mo. Yan lang yung masasabi ko. Kailangan mong maging malakas. Namatay si Lola. My long-term ex-boyfriend and I broke up. So parang shocks, tapos ikaw lang mag-isa. Oh, Lord. Hindi ko ma-explain gano'ng kahirap kasi sobrang hirap. Pero I praise God and I really, really praise God kasi tapos na ako sa era na yun. Nalagpasan ko siya sa awa ng Panginoon at sa mga taong tumulong sa akin para makabangon ulit. Ayan. Nagiging OFW, hindi siya bed of roses na nakikita nyo sa social media. Na gumagala kami, masaya kami, kumakain kami sa labas. We need to do that, guys. Kasi hindi rin madali yung pinagdaanan namin. Kailangan din namin ng relax. Break muna sa lahat ng mga nangyari sa buhay. Kaya nasabi ko rin na don't just think about money kasi money cannot buy happiness. It's just a tool but it can and will never be the source of your happiness. Yes, makakabili ka ng mga gusto mo. Sobrang saya mo pero parang after that, yung excitement pa na nandyan yung bagay na yan na nabili mo. As time goes by, mawawala din yung saya na yan eh. So parang temporary lang siya. Panandali ang kasiyahan lang mabibigay ng pera. Kaya yun, I need you to think about the reason why you want to become an OFW. Kasi yan yung panghugutan mo ng lakas kahit na sobrang hirap na. Sure. The third one will be your life will be just work and house only. Kasi nga wala naman dito yung home country mo. Most of your families are in your home country. But I praise God as well kasi I found a community, I found a church na matuturing kong pamilya ko. Pag hindi naman swak yung schedule ay talagang work at bahay, work-bahay ka lang. Halos sa amin ng mga OFW, talagang trabaho, bahay, trabaho lang talaga. Yan yung magiging routine mo. The fourth one is, yes, medyo mas mataas yung sahod, pero expected na mas mataas yung living expenses. Dito, sobrang mura lang ng mga sibuyas, some of the gulay. Pero may iba talaga sobrang mahal tayo. Parang times 2, times 3 yung presyo. So kaya paglalabas ako, kakain ako sa labas, parang medyo tinitipid ko rin paminsan yung sarili ko. Kasi sobrang mahal. Dito medyo expected na mas mataas yung living expenses. The fifth one is of course you need to know first about the safety of that place. Dito naman, sinearch ko. Sabi, one of the safest countries tong Qatar. And I could wait lang, hindi ko safest ba siya? And I cannot speak for everyone kasi may mga kasama ako, nag-resign talaga siya kasi nahipuan siya. So parang mas na-trigger yung anxiety niya. And ilang times na siyang sinusundan. Dito din, maraming sumusunod. Na-try ko, nag-grocery ako madaling araw. Galing akong gym, sabi ko mag-grocery na lang ako. Tapos may lalaki kasi na malapit niya akong nabunggo ng bike. Tapos same pala kami ng pupuntahan. Sorry siya ng sorry sa akin. Doon ako sa grocery. Sabi ko, okay lang. What matters most, hindi mo naman ako nabangga. Tapos nung paglabas ko, nandun din siya. Tapos, hala, sinusundan niya talaga ako literal. Hanggang sa accommodation ko. And alam niyo ba, kahit nandun na ako sa loob ng gate, nandun siya sa gate. Nakasilip sa akin, nakita ko sa reflection ng door. Gumaganon siya, tumitingin siya. Sabi ko, shucks. Kasi parang sabi niya, tutulungan niya daw ako sa dala ko kasi medyo mabigat. Sabi ko, hindi, kaya ko. Kaya ko mag-isa, kaya ko to. Kaya nga ako nag-gym, kaya nga ako nagbubuhat kasi para pag nag-grocery ako, malakas ako, kaya kong dalhin yung mga gamit ko. Nandun siya, tas alam mo, kinilabutan talaga ako kasi nga pag tingin ko sa salamin, nandun siya sa likod, tinitignan niya ako. Yung parang stalker ba? Sabi ko, shucks, Lord. Grabe yung prayer ko noon. God, please protect me. Kahit na sinasabi na safest country, hindi pa rin talaga. May mga masasamang tao talaga dyan sa paligid. You really need to also learn how to defend yourself. Pag naglalakad ako sa labas, hindi ako tumitingin sa mga tao, sa mga mata. Kasi parang nagbibigay yan ng impression sa kanila na, parang bet ako ng babaeng to. Sundan ko nga, ganun. Nonchalant ako pag sa labas, parang patanga-tanga na di ko nagigets yung sinasabi mo. Kaya umaalis ako kaagad. Pag pinatulan ko yung conversation, baka mas lalong magbigay ng ibang message sa kanila na gusto ko sila. No, sorry. The sixth one is you really need to adjust sa culture and sa mga rules and regulations ng country. So dito, bawal talaga mag-sexy. Bawal yung mga liberated na outfit. Siguro kung meron man, dapat nasa loob ka ng isang private place. Hindi yung nasa labas, babandera mo yung katawan mo. Kasi kahit naka-short ka lang na hindi sobrang ikli, titignan ka na nila. Nakadress ka dyan lalabas. Naglalakad sa kali. Titignan ka na nila yung mga lalaki dito parang never nakakita ng babae kung makatingin like ganun talaga. Kaya kailangan mo mag-adjust sa culture daw manamit yung mga tao dito. So yeah, it depends on the country that you are in. May iba namang country na super open. Baka sa sobrang open ikaw din yung mabibigla na shocks, ganito pala dito. You need to adjust sa culture and sa mga character yung ng ibang lokal. Dito naman naranasan ko or nakita ko talaga anong difference ng lokal dito at ng dayuhan lang. So, example, sa mahabang linya, kami mga dayuhan, tas nandyan yung lokal. Hindi yan lilinya. Papagalitan pa kayo. Papagalitan pa yung cashier or kung sino man kung hindi sila entertain agad pag sinabihan silang kailangan luminya. Yan, wala kaming magagawa kasi dayuhan lang kami. Kami yung dayuhan, so kami yung dapat mas mag-adjust. The seventh one, plan kayong mag-abroad. Pag-pray nyo rin na ilagay kayo sa magandang environment or community. You need to really choose your friends wisely, guys. Because totoo yung sinasabi nila na, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. So kailangan mong or pag-pray mo yung mga taong who would help you to become better. Hindi yung lalagay ka sa sitwasyon na ikakapahamak mo. The people that we are spending our time with will really make a great impact sa kung sino tayo. Please choose your friends wisely. It could either make you or break you. And the next one would be homesick. You need to prepare yourself sa homesick, guys. Iba yung tama ng homesick, sinasabi ko sa inyo. Grabe. Yung iba naman, nag-anxiety, nade-depress. Kaya yung iba, umuwi talaga kasi hindi kinakaya. Yung homesick, naranasan ko yan siya. 1 taon akong nag-suffer sa homesick. Paminsan nga ka pa rin ngayon, na-overcome ko na siya eh. Once you're used to it, you already know how to deal with it. Tapos homesick ko talaga. May time nung natulog ako, bigla ako nagising. Tapos umiiyak ako, hindi ako makahinga. Tapos gusto kong umuwi. Gusto kong umuwi na. Parang gusto kong mag-book ng flight, tumawag sa welfare, sa company namin. Book me a flight, I wanna go home. Ganon yung feeling. Tapos, syempre nasa ako, aviation industry, nakikita ko yung eroplano, may nakikita akong Pinoy, umuwi, may nakikita ko Manila flight, Philippine Airlines na aircraft, yung parang feeling, shucks, gusto kong tumalon at pumunta dyan at umuwi na at hindi na babalik. Ganun yung feeling ko. Grabe yung homesick ko nun, guys. Halos everyday akong umiiyak. Hindi ko alam paano ko na overcome yung lahat ng yun. Problema dito, problema doon. Namatay pa si Lola. Parang nagkasakit siya, namatay. Tapos, nagsastruggle pa ako personally. Homesick ako. Tapos, I was also juggling with my relationship sa ex ko nun. So, parang sabi ko, God. Tapos, whenever I think about those things, napapatulala na lang ako na, God, paano ko ba yun na-overcome? Kasi kung ngayon, iniisip, grabe, sobrang hirap. Pero, those things really made me become stronger. Yung parang, shucks, ngayon, okay na. Kaya ko na, God. Kahit ano pa yan, kayang-kaya ko kasi alam kong kasama kita. Yung parang yung confidence ko kay Lord, yung faith ko kay Lord, mas lalong naging strong kasi nga, I've been through the worst and He was there. Physically, I was alone, but spiritually, the Lord was really with me all throughout. Kaya it was really my faith and His peace really made me become stronger. It's His peace that transcends all understanding na kahit hindi ko naiintindihan yung mga bagay na nangyayari sa buhay ko, alam kong kaya ko kasi nandyan ka. It's your peace that keeps me going. It's your love. It's your grace that help me to endure the pain. Sabi pa nga nung friend ko. Mga friends ko, marami silang sabi, girl, kung hindi mo na kaya, okay lang na magpa-check ka sa doktor, mag-psychiatrist ka. Tapos parang sabi ko, shucks, hindi. Hindi ako magpapadoktor. Kasi alam kong okay ako, alam kong kaya ko, alam kong strong ako, and I know that God is bigger than what I'm going through. Kaya ngayon, pag naiisip ko, sabi ko, shucks Lord, it was really you who sustained me. It was really you who let me endure those things. Problema lang kayo, problema ka lang. Apart ng buhay ko, na break mo, pero hindi ikaw yung buhay ko. Nasaktan mo ako, pero I'm still whole. I'm still okay. I'm still strong kasi I didn't put my identity to those people. Ano ba to? Homesick yung pinag-uusapan natin. Anyways, balik tayo sa homesick, guys. You need to really prepare yourself for that situation. And the last one is, if you are in a relationship, you need to talk with your partner. If you are married or still girlfriend and boyfriend, kailangan yung pag-usapan na hindi madali ang LDR. Before, when I was still in a relationship, ang challenge namin is yung communication. Sobrang hirap ng video call dito, nakakainis. Yung signal, kailangan kailangan mag-download ng VPN, ng other apps just for you to have a good connection. Also, dito ako nalungkot kasi cheating is really rampant sa abroad. Usually yung dito, married na. No, umaastang parang single, ganon. Dito ako nalungkot nung sabi ng kasama ko na sobrang tagal na niya dito. Sabihin niya, yung hiwalay-hiwalay na yan, normal na lang yan pag nag-abroad ka. Hindi ka na masashock niyan. If you're an OFW, it's one of the things na mararanasan ng halos lahat. Tapos parang natulala ako na parang inano yung puso ko na shucks. Normal na lang ba talaga yung ganon? Kasi dito yung may mga office girlfriend, office boyfriend. Tapos marami dito, noon when I was still in a relationship, ang dami nagtatanong, ibang lahi, are you in a relationship? Sabi ko, do you have a boyfriend here in Qatar? Sabi ko, yes, I have a boyfriend, but he was in the Philippines. Sabi niya, no, here in Qatar. Sabi ko, what's the difference? No, I don't have. I don't have a boyfriend because I already have a boyfriend in my country. Sabi niya, no, that's not nice. Gumaganon siya. Sabi ko, you know what? That's not nice. Ang dami ko ng ibang lahi na pagsasabihin. Sabi ko, you know what? That's not nice. What if your wife will do that for you? What would you feel? It's okay. No, you're just telling that. But actually, it's painful for her. If she will know that you have a girlfriend, you're meeting someone, and there she's waiting for you to go home. Grabe talagang, dami ko nang napagalitan. Kaya yung iba, hindi na, umiiwas na, hindi na nagsasalita kasi alam niya na iinis ako sa mga ganyan. Tapos may isa akong workmate, ibang lahi. Ito yung pogi niya. Ang daming nagkakagusto sa kanya. Pero may asawa. Tapos, a-appreciate ko siya as a man. May itsura siya, ang bait niya sa amin, mga babae, mga colleagues niya, ang sipag niya. Pero ramdam mong may boundaries na hanggang dito ka lang. Yes, I'm not being nice to you, but I have a wife already. Ganun, te. Tapos, ang daming nagpapakyut sa kanya, ganun. Hindi talaga. Tapos sabi ko sa kanya, in-appreciate ko talaga siya. Sabi ko, you know what? I really appreciate you as a man. Sabi niya, why? Sabi ko kasi, you really know how to set boundaries with your colleagues, especially us girls. You're being kind to us, but you let us feel na we have boundaries that we need to keep in mind. Kasi you're already married, sabi niya. Oh, yeah, because I don't want to hurt my wife, sabi niya. Sabi ko, tapos sabi ko, tinanong ko siya, ba't ka ganyan? What's your reason why you are really faithful to your wife? Sabi niya, kasi ayokong makita siyang masaktan and ayoko gawin niya yung ginagawa ko. Whatever you do, it will come back to you, sabi niya. What if siya, gagawin niya yung mga bagay na ayaw ko? Siyempre masasaktan ako. So, kaya ayoko din gawin yung mga bagay na ikakasakit niya. Sabi niya, talaga, sabi ko, sana all, ganyan yung mindset, no? Sa long-distance relationship, it's not for everyone. It would either make your relationship work or it will break your relationship. Diyan din matetest yung love nyo para sa isa't isa. You need to really talk about that with your partner na ano bang plano natin after 3 to 5 years ko dito sa abroad or 2 years. Are we gonna settle? Ikaw pupunta dito or ako uuwi? Ganon. And sad lang kasi it's not for everyone. If you want to test your relationship, na kahit sobrang tagal nyo na and gusto mong i-test yung relasyon nyo kung matibay talaga, try nyo yung LDR. Why not? Try nyo. Baka makita mo yung baka dyan mo matitest kung para ba talaga kayo sa isa't isa. Kasi ako na-confirm ko na But anyways, I praise God for everything that happened in my life. Whether it's good or bad. And kung papipiliin ako, kung nag-abroad ako or hindi, I will still choose this one. Iniisip ko pa lang yung pinagdaanan ko, ha. Alam ko sobrang hirap, pero sa growth ko ngayon, sabi ko, it's all worth it. Mas nag-deepen kasi yung relasyon ko kay God nung nandito ako sa abroad. Sabi ko, shucks, Lord, this pain, if this experience would lead me closer to you, so be it. Okay lang. Kung itong sakit na to, mas magpapa-deepen yung relasyon ko sa'yo. It's okay, God. Just help me to endure the pain. Help me to go through the process. Just sustain me, Lord, for everything that's happening in my life. And yun, God is really faithful, no? When we ask, He will really give. So, hi everyone. I would just like to add something to what I've said. Kasi hindi ko rin to siya nasalan. It's really important. And that is to learn how to be alone. To do things alone. To do some groceries. To eat. To go outside alone. Not all the time may mga kasama ka. Not all the time your friends will be there. And you have to learn how to do things on your own. And it's actually hard at first. Once you're used to it, you will be proud of yourself kasi kaya mong mag-survive on your own. You need to learn how to be independent. So, ayun, those are the things that I need you to know first before you decide to become an OFW. So yeah, I hope you have learned something from this. Medyo mabigat, medyo deep yung pinag-usapan natin ngayon. But I hope this will also help you when it comes to your decision making, when it comes to thinking about abroad is really for you or not. Before we're gonna end this video, I'm just gonna leave you with a verse from Romans 8:18. This verse has been so meaningful to me na isa din to siya talaga sa pinagkakapitan ko na promise ni God sa akin nung time na nahirapan ako sa pag-abroad ko. And that is from Romans 8:18. It says, "For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is going to be revealed to us." So always know that the pain that you're going through right now cannot compare to the joy that is coming. So I hope and I pray that the Lord is with you and will be with you as you decide whether you're gonna pursue to become an OFW or not. I hope that He will give you wisdom. So this is what I need to also let you know. You need to really ask God's wisdom because He will definitely give it to you. Just keep on asking and asking and asking, and He will give you wisdom, knowledge, and He will really guide you to the path. Kasi isa sa mga rason kung ba't nakapag-decide ako mag-abroad, because may peace. Na kahit hindi ko naintindihan, Lord, bakit ito? Na mas pinili ko siya over my dream company and dream job. Di ko alam ba't nandito ako. But it's His peace that really leads me to where I am right now. Nasabi ko, mas at peace ako kung pipiliin ko yung abroad. I really don't know why. And all of a sudden, as time goes by, He revealed to me why. So, hindi mo man naiintindihan ngayon, but if there's peace that God put in your heart, just hold on to His peace, and that peace will help you to go through whatever hurdles you will encounter in life. So yeah, I hope you have learned something from this video. So if you have questions, suggestions, or clarifications, please don't be hesitant to comment it below. And I'm gonna read and answer all of those. Always remember, you are beautiful in your own special way. Bye! See you guys on my next one. Mwah.